any point, you'll get the messages. All right. So let's pray real quickly and then get right into this message. Father God, I thank you for this message today. To death do us part. And I pray that you allow me to give this insight and oversight that you share with me, that we all understand what it means to live and have life more abundantly. So bless your hearers, bless those watching live or in replay. This I pray. Amen. All right. So what does it mean till death do us part? So when you go into a relationship and you find that forever after, and you get married and you walk down the aisle and you're smiling and you're like, yes, this is the one, excuse me. And as you're standing there at the end of the aisle waiting on your bride to come, or if you're the bride coming, you see your groom awaiting you, you have this thing in your mind where we're going to be together forever. Not, nothing's going to happen. We're going to get through this. And that's good. Then you go through the vows, right? And the preacher, which will be myself when I do vows, I'll say, do you take this man to be your lawfully wedded husband, to have and to hold, to cherish and to honor in sickness and in health, for richer, for poor, for better, for worse, till death do you part. And you look over there and you say, I do. And then it switched over where he's asking, and I give him the vows. He says the same thing. What is the significance of till death do us part? Well, from what we've understood in the past, good morning. For what we've understood in the past, oh, I see my mom's name up. She said, this is your baby sis. Love you, sis. So when we think about till death do us part, we're getting married. We think about we're married until we die. Now, as I've shared with you before, when we think about the Bible, and I teach from principle, I don't teach from it being literal, but principle. So if I teach from the principle of the Bible, death is not seen as just physical. Death is seen as spiritual as well. And so when we look at this today, till death do us part, I want you to look at it from the different perspective of death spiritually, or who you are as a person. So how does that take on different significance? Glad you asked. So I'm married. Who I am before I marry you, I'm full of life, I'm full of zeal, I'm full of passion, I'm full of joy, and I marry you, and we come together, and over the period of time, the marriage is not fulfilling me, but it's draining me, or better yet, killing me. And so here I am now. I wake up one morning, I go and I look in the mirror, and I don't see the person that I once knew. I don't see that person full of zeal. I don't see that person full of joy. I don't see that person has a lot of passion. What I see in the mirror is a person who just exists. There's no life. And then they're in this marriage, and the person they're married to, whether it's a male or female or same sex, are killing you. They're causing you to cuss now, smoke now, drink now, cuss now, to become somebody that you're not. The person that you used to be is now dead. And you're with this individual, and there is no life coming from them, but life being taken from you. And so now you're sitting there in this horrible, miserable marriage, but yet because of tradition, you've told you got to stick it out. You got to stay in this thing. You can't give up. We don't believe in divorce. And I'm not a advocate for it, but I am someone who understands the necessity of it when you're dead. Okay, let me explain. You may be watching me right now and you're going, Carrie, I never looked at it from that perspective. I never looked at it from being dead to who I come to know myself as. When you're in a situation, when you come into a marriage, you're supposed to come in as two individuals with two independent lives. And you merge those lives together, but you should never lose your independency. See, that's something that's not being taught, because you're taught when you come in, especially as a woman, that you submit to your husband and everything he wants and says, that's what you do. And you lose your identity. That's why you take on his last name, because you're basically taking on his identity and his last name. But what happens when you take on the identity, the last name, and you die to who you are? That the marriage is not bringing you any validity, it's actually killing you. Now, I don't know if you commenting this morning. Let me look and see, because I hope you are. I hope somebody's saying, Carrie, you are talking to me. I never thought of it from that perspective. Okay. Is that you this morning who can say this is good stuff? And so when you think about death as being something that takes life from you. And so now you're in this relationship, It's not bringing you life, it's taking life from you. And now you find yourself waking up, don't want to go to work. You find yourself in the bar. You find yourself sitting in the driveway. You find yourself at the drug dealer's house looking for something to take you out of your misery. Or if some people commit suicide altogether. Or you kill the marriage by cheating, because we say what? When you cheat, that the relationship is dead. But what if I never cheat? Why can't the relationship be just as dead from you not fulfilling my needs? Or me losing myself to you? Versus we get married, we still have our independence, we yet push each other to be the best person you can be, and we grow together, bringing more life. So, till death do us part is not always when you are physically dead, but when you're dead to who you become, to who you come to know yourself as. You're dead to your dreams and your ambitions. When you just waking up and you become a do boy or a do girl, you're dead. Because you are supposed to marry someone that will bring life to you as you bring life to them, and together you flourish. So I've been in relationships in the past where it took from me and I was a giver, but not the receiver, because there was nothing to receive. Give me, give me, give me, give me. And if you get with people that are selfish and it's all about them, then it's never about you. You will die. If you're spiritual and you get with someone and they're draining you spiritually to the point that you no longer can connect with God, you can no longer see or feel God, and you're praying and you see. Somebody said, well, this I've never heard it from that perspective. Because you're dead. And when you're dead, you cannot hear. When you're dead, you cannot feel. When you're dead, you cannot connect. And so why is this important? That means, first of all, the first signs of death is losing your independency. That's your first sign of death. That is you getting a cancer or getting a leukemia or getting some disease that's going to kill you spiritually, is losing your independence. Now, I know a lot of people say, well, I don't like a strong woman. Well, don't marry one, because you got to marry what's unified or what's of your kindred spirit. You got to marry that which is like-minded. You got to marry that which is equally yoked. Because if you are strong and you marry someone that is weak, you're going to dominate them. But what if you marry someone who's strong and you're strong and you know how to keep your independence, but understand the compromising parts of a marriage? Then you can grow together. You should never get married and be in competition with your mate. Because if you do that, to death do you part will happen. You should get with someone and you both have your independence, but you're able to gleam. You're able to shine the other. Iron sharpens iron. And if I'm sharp and you're sharp, we sharpen each other. But what happens when you take someone who has a butter knife experience, meaning their life is just dull, and you put them with someone who's a Gensu, who is sharp and can cut? You're not going to sharpen that. You're going to actually end up damaging each other. In other words, you have to be equally yoked in order to sharpen each other. Interesting, isn't it? It's something to how we never really stop and ponder the thought: am I living or am I dying? And it's nothing worse to be committed to someone that is killing you, and by the letter of the law, you're staying there. By a spiritual or religious insight, you're staying there, versus ask the question, am I living? Now, Carrie, what's the real? The real is this: there are going to be some good days and there are going to be some bad days in your life. There are going to be some good days in your marriage. There are going to be some bad days in your marriage. But if your bad days are outweighing your good days and you're dying to who you are, you find yourself miserable, laying in the bed, crying at night while the other joke over there snoring. If you're here laying in the bed at night thinking about somebody else when you should be thinking about your wife or your husband, that's a problem. What are you saying, Carrie? I'm saying, are you dying? Are you experiencing a slow, painful death in your relationship? Because if you are, then you're dying. If death is what's going to do you part, you must understand that death is bigger than natural death. And there's some people that have developed a spiritual cancer that are dying in their relationship, and yet they're in turn dying physically. What brings about death quicker than anything? A broken heart. And a broken heart is not just from death of a close person. You see that a lot when you have two people that have been together for years and the one die, and because of the absence of the relationship, the other person is not far away from dying because of the connection. That's a broken heart. But you do know that you can have a broken heart in a young age in a relationship that's killing you. You can be so invested to it's causing you to withdraw from life because what you should give and receive. You should feed and be fed. You should love and be loved. And if you're in a situation, I'm talking to someone this morning, it may not be but two of you that needs to hear it. And I understand that it's not about numbers as it's about quality of the word that God has given, not the quantity of those that are watching it. I'm saying that to say this. When you come to an understanding and a knowledge, and I talked last week about the fear of knowledge, knowing. When you get information like such, and you know that it's saying to me, I'm dying and I need to come alive again. Sometimes the way you come alive, like a plant that's dying in a pot where it cannot grow, is you take the plant and you sow it into another pot that's bigger with fresh soil. In other words, divorce may be the very thing that brings you life. I'm not an advocate of it again, but I do understand that you should not be somewhere in something that is killing you and causing you to die. To death do us part is bigger than just dying naturally. Now, I'm not going to be long today. I intentionally made this video today and going to have a short one because I need you to grasp this concept. Now, how many of you can comment right now and say, Kerry, I never looked at it from this perspective, or maybe you have. But now in hearing it, are you living or are you dying? You don't have to type it on the screen because I don't want you to put out there what you're going through. But I do want you to let this resonate in your mind. I want you to simmer on that thought for a second. Am I living in my relationship or am I dying? Now, let me say something to you. You may have to die to people's opinions of your relationship because they don't live with the individual as you do, but you know your truth. And it's the truth that will make you free. Why does it say make you free? Because at some point in time, that truth is going to make you have to make a decision. And many people don't want to make a decision, so they just go on and go on. And I had to learn something. I remember wanting to have that title of being in a relationship or a marriage for 20 plus years and 30 plus years. That's what I wanted. And I will get there. But what I had to understand is how many people that have that title are truly happy. How many of them that are really together 20, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years are really happy, or have you adjusted to how to live dead? I know it. Kerry, that is kind of deep right there. Eugene said, it would be tragic. My parents are still living today, and if one of them dies, it would be tragic for me. I could imagine how it would be tragic for each of them. That's right. Death is relationships kills you when you die, and you die early. Robert said, I have had death of my spirit many times. And that's it. People don't understand this concept. Death is not just natural. Death is spiritual that returns into natural. That's why you got to be careful to guard your heart and your mind. You know, the Bible says, you know, that God will, he said, he give us understanding that he said, I give peace that passes all understanding. Peace that passes all understanding, that you'll guard your heart and your mind. The heart of your mind is deep. Because I found this out myself. When you ponder things too long, it starts eating at your natural body. You want me to break it down to you? When you're stressed and your hair starts falling out, you're dying. When you're stressed and your face starts breaking out, or your body starts breaking out with sores or a way of stress coming through your body, you're dying. When you're stressed and you find your body reacting negatively because your heart and your mind is pondering things, you're dying. You're dying spiritually, and it's showing now naturally in your body. That's why it's important to relieve stress. But what if that stress is what I'm married to? What if that stress that I'm dealing with is what's been my everyday issues? Then you got a decision to make. And I can't make that decision for you. I have experienced divorce multiple times. Not proud of it. It's part of my life resume, but it's part of it because of my thinking and my upbringing when it came to religion of how relationships should be. When God broke things down to me to where I could truly understand why I experienced divorce multiple times, it was because what? I never linked up with what was equal to me. I got married first time because I was super young and I was forced to do it through religion, then divorced, then rebound and remarried again, and found out that, Carrie, you got to get to know yourself. Because if you don't know yourself, you can't pick what you need for yourself. Oh, I had to learn that hard, valuable lesson that you must first know what you need. And if you don't know how to feed yourself, someone else surely can't feed you. Does that mean that they were bad individuals for me? They were not bad individuals, but they were bad for me because Carrie had to first learn who Carrie was. So some of you may be dying right now because you have linked up with someone because you trying to do the right thing. You're trying to make sex legal. You're trying to be right in the eyes of God. But if you're not right in the heart of who you are, you're dying. Now, is this an easy pill to swallow? Not at all. Hearing this right here is not easy, but I promise you, if you can learn to receive it and to really sit and take off your spiritual, your religious conditioning and just say, wait a minute, let me hear what he's saying. He's saying to me that if I'm not being authentic, if I'm not living to my fullest potential, if I'm in a relationship where I hate coming home to, I hate waking up to, I hate when it touches me, I hate when it makes love to me, and even love, it's just now an exercise of sex. When I look at this whole thing I'm going through, then am I really being, because if God came that I may have life and that more abundantly, then if I'm not living an abundant life and I'm actually dying, then this is not the will of God. Because you should be in a relationship that's bringing life, not taking life. Think about it. Okay. This is some deep stuff this morning. It is deep, and I don't expect a lot of people to say much because it's making you think. I want my messages that I give to make you think, to make you stop and go, I've never looked at it like that before. That's deep. And so, to death do us part. Are you dying? Are you dead? Are you a walking emotional zombie? Have you learned how to turn it on and turn off what we call role playing, and you're just married to someone and turning it on to be in the role, but yet you can't be true and honest and transparent and talk to your mate. Your mate's not your friend. Your mate's actually become your foe. We got a problem. Houston, there is a problem. And if you are in a relationship that is causing you to die and not live, then I'm going to be honest with you guys. That is not the will for God. That's not the will of God for your life. Because relationships are two lives coming together to be one and to grow and to be flourishing, not to die. And somebody this morning watching me right now, you cried all last night. You're pondering, am I going to go into 2022 this same way? Am I going to go into 2022 with this same mindset? Am I going to go into 2022 still dying, or am I going to make that hard decision and choose to live? I can't make it for you. I can't. Sorry. Can't do it. Can't make it for you. But I can tell you this. If you have that hard conversation with yourself, and if you truly, truly, truly answer the question, am I living or am I dying? And accept the truth of your answer, then 9/10 of your decision has been made. The final part of it is you going forward with whatever action necessary, whether it's therapy, because I definitely advise therapy because you can rejuvenate a relationship with therapy because maybe I haven't forgiven for something that has happened in the relationship. Maybe I'm wanting more from you than you can actually give. Maybe I have unrealistic expectations. Unrealistic expectations. See, that's not just one reason because they cheated that the relationship could be over with. No, if you have unrealistic expectations upon that person that you're married to, then maybe you need to revisit through therapy. Am I asking for something that can never be given? If is even what I'm asking for logical? Because if it's not logical, then that means it's illogical and it means it's not going to ever happen. So it's dead. The idea is dead. So so I start with therapy first. Get therapy before you call the divorce. Do couple therapy. I offer it to people. If you need it, inbox me. If you're going to the section right now in the inbox, into the description, you'll see where you can subscribe and you can go in there and get some therapy. Or you can go to the BetterHelp Bureau the betterhelp.com that we also send people to if you're not comfortable with me. Or get it personal through your own therapist. But whatever it is, start there first. Don't go straight to divorce. Start with therapy and ask those questions. Is my expectations unrealistic? Have I forgiven? Am I holding a grudge or trying to pay back because I got somebody? Oh, that's another thing too. If you got somebody else on the left side of you that's talking in your ear that you wish you could be with because they understand you, you might want to cut that off over there because that's leading to your death over here. And you'll never see the good here if you got somebody over there that you think is greener than the grass here. And if I can be honest with you, as I love to say, it ain't always grass that you're looking at. It could be astroturf, better known as fake grass or fake person. I got a video I'm going to do that is going to really mess some people up, and I may do it through the week, but it's basically going to deal with that you are not my problem. And what does that mean? When somebody's wanting to flirt with you, they understand that you're not their problem nor their responsibility, so they can flirt with you because there's nothing left for them to take from you but whatever you give them, which is usually sex. But when you get divorced or you no longer, taken and you're available, they don't want you because now they don't want the responsibility that comes with you. That's another message. So stay ready for that one. Okay. Woo. How many of y'all said, man, he's talking. He's talking this morning. And so I hope this marriage, this talk on relationships is helping you. But you got to make sure you start with therapy. If you got somebody speaking in your ear, get them out. Okay. Get them out of your ear. If they're speaking to you, these sweet nothings, that's exactly what it is. Sweet nothings. If you're a damsel in distress and you're looking for your knight in shining armor to come rescue you, part of that what I'm going to talk about in that other video, you do know that once the damsel in distress is rescued, the knight goes on his way. The knight doesn't stay because his only job is to rescue you from your distress. But now you've fallen in love with the knight in shining armor. Yeah, we're going to talk about that too. Some good stuff, guys. I don't want you getting into something that you can't get out of. That is killing you. All right. So before you go to divorce court, do therapy individually, do therapy as a couple. And then if you have to do separation, you separate with the understanding of time period and whether or not we're going to make this thing work. Because if you just get separated just to look legal on books, because of your religious stance that I have to be married, but I can't be divorced, then I'm gonna tell you right now, you're in trouble because you're lying to God, you're lying to yourself, and you'll say, God, I never divorced, but you separated and you lived a life single, just with the title married. So you're really divorced. Just do the legal work, okay? Oh man, I gotta go, guys. I tell you, it's not gonna be long today. We're gonna do a 30-minute video. Get out of here. But I want you to ponder these thoughts today. I want you to go back and watch it. I am going to go back and take this video and edit it, put a heading and closure and all that good stuff and repost it later. But I wanted you to see this today. All right. So God bless you. I want you now, if you will, let's sow a seed. If you want to sow a seed, the links are always in the section. But if you want to sow a seed today, give me a second and I'll actually post it for you. Because I want you to sow today. I want you to sow seeds. How many of you can say, Kira, I enjoyed this message? Give me a second, guys. All I'm doing is pulling up the video so I could put over the information. But how many can say, Carrie, you've given me something to think about. I never have thought about it as the way you shared it with me this morning, but when I hang up this video, I got something to think about. Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna put in the section here the link where you can sow seeds. You can go to Cash App, which is the $ the way Life Center, or you can go to the PayPal link, which is up right now. But you have been sowing seeds. Grateful for you. And I want you to continue to do so. It allows us to bring great content to you as such, the aesthetics of what you see, and just excited about what God has given. All right. So there's the link again. Let me see if I have any questions in here this morning. Eugene said, when I look for the inspiration for marriage, I looked at you and Rebecca. I look at Anton and Rita. I look at Eric and Danica. And I look at Nurse and Nerds. Yes, these are 4 different views of marriage. But the one thing the 4 couples have in common is that each couple, the man and the woman, both understand their roles and seem to understand what kills their marriage. Eugene, you said it best. What I love about Rebecca and I, we have so many common things, equally yoked in various areas, but we also have individuality. And from that, we understand what it takes for us to be happy. And then we try to let, people say, you guys are fake with your love. No, we're not. Our love is real. The way we carry ourselves, the way we laugh, we can sit beside each other in the bed and crack up all night over nothing. Because when you love someone and you understand that person, then you don't take them seriously when you have an argument, because you understand the argument means something's wrong. You look at it, you work through it, and you get it right. It's when the person that you're arguing with, you don't even know who they are and they don't know who you are, where you have problems. All right. If anything today you have a question about, you can feel free to write me at hello@carrieapope.com. Again, hello, HELLO @carrieapope.com. If you have a question concerning anything I've said today, or something you wanted to type, but you didn't want it to put your business out there because it's personal, inbox me. All right. Okay, guys, I got to go. I tell you I'm not going to be long today, but I want to give you this message. I do want you, if you have not subscribed, to subscribe and hit the notification button. I want you to pay attention to the next video that's coming up. You should see it coming up very shortly. All you got to do is look up and you'll have it. All right. I didn't go anywhere. I just timed out. All right. So with that being said, again, I'm learning my new camera. It has a time on it for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, it shuts down. But guess what? I'm still here. All right, guys. Write me, hello@carrieapope.com. I want you to make sure that you go and you subscribe to the channel. All right. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Again, thank you. I am going to edit this video and repost it again with all the openings and closing and all that good stuff, because I want you to get this. All right. Take care, guys. Blessings and abundance. Sow seeds this morning. The links is up again. Write me so I can hear from you. Share this video and help me grow this channel, because people need this information. All right. Until next time, God bless you. Pay attention to the next video is coming up. Take care now.